Hi everyone, I'm Sharon, a virtual assistant for over 15 years and your friendly Google Workspace guide. Now today we're looking at some of the most useful Google Forms settings that are hiding in plain sight. Most people don't notice them, but they can make your forms easier to manage, more professional, and just a lot less stressful. And don't worry, everything I'm showing you today works on both free Google accounts as well as paid Workspace ones. So if you're ready, then let's get started. So the first setting makes sure that nobody gets the same order of questions. It's especially handy for quizzes or anything where people might be tempted to copy the answers. To set this up, click on Settings, go to the Presentation section, and then toggle Shuffle Question Order to On. So staying with the shuffling theme, this next setting is one that very few people think about. You can actually shuffle options within any question that's got multiple choice options. Simply click on the question, go to the three dots and choose Shuffle Option Order. So this is great for surveys where people always choose that middle option by default. So by shuffling the option order, it means they now have to actually read the answers. Moving on to number 3, and this is one of the most overlooked features and one that I use all the time when setting up forms for my own clients. After somebody submits your form, you can show a personalized message. So it could be something like, "Thanks, I'll get back to you within 48 hours," or "Here's what to expect next." To do this, go to Settings, then Presentation. Scroll to the confirmation message and click Edit. Type whatever you want people to see after submitting their responses. So it's an easy way to set expectations and reduce follow-up emails. Now this next setting is an important one and the choice depends on how you use the form. So if you want people to be able to go back and edit their answers, go to Settings, then Responses, turn on Allow Response Editing. But if you're dealing with things like bookings, registrations, or anything where you don't want people to change their answers later, then leave this off. If you don't want people filling in your form multiple times, maybe for event signups or competitions, then you've got 2 options. The first option is when a sign-in is required. To turn this on, click on Settings, then Responses, and choose Limit to 1 response. Users will need to be signed into their Google account in order for this to work. Now the second option is to collect email addresses. So to turn this on, click on Settings, then Responses, and click Collect Email Addresses. Now this doesn't guarantee uniqueness, but it does discourage duplicate entries. You can set it so that it has to be a verified email address, which means the user needs to be signed into their Google account first. Or you can set it so the user manually types in their email address. Now this next setting is a new Google Forms feature that I absolutely love because it removes so much manual checking. You can now automatically close your form based on either a specific date and time or a maximum number of responses. Now this only appears once your form has been published. So here's how to find it. Click Publish in the top right corner of your form. Make sure the responders is set to whatever you need it to be. So in this case, it's anyone with the link can respond. Click on Publish again, then click back on the Publish button in the top right to open up the published options. You'll now see options to close the form. So you can either close the form on a specific date, which is perfect for things like event registrations, early bird signups, timed competitions, monthly check-ins that close at midnight, and so on. You simply pick the date and time and Forms will close itself. There's no need to manually switch it off. Or you can close the form after a set number of responses. So this is useful if you have things like limited places on workshops, one-to-one booking requests, or anything where you need there's a capped space. Just enter the number of responses that you want and Google Forms will automatically stop accepting new submissions once you hit that limit. Now when the form closes, people will see your custom closure message. So you can edit this so it's worth adding something like, "Oops, too late," or something a bit more friendly. Like, "Thanks, this form is now closed, but feel free to get in touch if you need help." So automatically closing the form is one of my favorite features and it's perfect if you're juggling lots of forms or time-sensitive signups. This next setting is to do with responses once they come in. So it's important to choose the right response destination. To do this, click Responses and choose Link to Sheets. So here you can choose to either create a brand new spreadsheet or link to an existing one. So linking to an existing sheet is ideal if you're doing things like collecting repeat survey data, running monthly reviews, or keeping everything in the one place for a client. Once they're captured in your Google Sheet, you can then keep responses organized by using things like filters or tabs, conditional formatting, and so on. Now, this next feature is one that hardly anyone notices. When somebody signs into their Google account, forms will automatically save their progress as they go. So they can close the form and come back to it later. There's no setup needed, it's just automatically built in. So this is great for longer forms like onboarding or feedback or applications. And as the owner of the form, you've got the option to disable this feature for all responders. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but if you do, then here's how to do it. Click on Settings and Presentation. Then scroll down to the Restrictions section and toggle the option Disable Autosave for all respondents to on, and that's it. So there you have a whole set of tiny Google Form settings that make your forms cleaner, more consistent, and just a lot easier to manage. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments which setting you're going to be trying next. And please share this video with anyone you know who would also find it helpful. And if you want more simple Google Workspace tips for your solo business, remember to subscribe to this channel. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.